In the beginning of our parsha, Parshas Behaaloscha, Aaron HaKohen is commanded by Hashem to light the menorah. And in response, the Torah says, Vayaskein Aaron, that Aaron did exactly what Hashem told him to do. Rashi wonders, why does the Torah tell us that Aaron did as Hashem told him to do? Of course he did. He was Aaron HaKohen, he was the high priest. If Hashem had instructed him, the Kohen Gadol, to do something, of course, he did what he was told. What is the Torah trying to teach us? There's something here. And so Rashi explains as follows. Rashi says, Lahagid shavacho shel Aaron sheloshina. To give praise of Aaron for the fact that he didn't change anything. Why would we think that Aaron would change something? Well, if we think about the context, as we said, Aaron HaKohen was the Kohen Gadol, he was the high priest. The high priest is the holiest person in the entire Jewish people. He's a person who's on the highest level. And sometimes when we get onto a high level, and be it as a leader in the community, as a leader in our family, as a leader in a relationship, sometimes we think that we may know better. And because of that, when someone asks us to do something, we might decide to do it our way because it makes the most sense. We can get it done as fast as possible if we do it our way, as opposed to doing it the way that we are asked to do it. In case in point, just the other day, on Memorial Day, I decided that I was going to build this bookcase that I had sitting in a box in my living room for a couple of weeks already. And so I said to my son, one of my sons, I said, get my drill, get the screwdriver, and get the hammer. And he got all three, and he brought it over, and we started putting all the pieces out, and we opened up the instructions, and the first thing that it said was, do not use drill. So I said, okay, put the drill back. And then we're starting to build the bookcase, and we have to screw in, with the screwdriver, these screws into the wood itself, into this pressed wood. And it's getting to a point where I'm screwing in a bracket, and I'm exerting. Moving your hand, and your hand is hurting, and then it's a difficult angle, and I just said, you know what, just get me the drill. So he goes and brings me the drill, and I said, I know what's going on here. They don't want me to use the drill because then maybe I'm going to ruin the finishing on the bookcase. So, all right, listen, if I don't push the drill in, if I'm very careful, I'll make sure that I don't ruin the finishing. And so I used the drill very carefully, and we ended up finishing up building the bookcase, and we pick up the bookcase, it's finally complete, and I look at the bottom of the bookcase, and the molding and the bottom of the bookcase are not flush. There's a space in between. It's too late. The molding is on already. I can't go back and undo it. And so I concluded at that moment that I should have just followed the instructions, the directions of the people who created this bookcase. They knew what they were talking about. But I thought that maybe I knew just a little bit better, and I understood their reasoning. And so HaKadosh Baruch Hu teaches us that there is praise for someone who follows the instructions, follows the directions. And that comes to when we're lighting a candle as well. The candle, the flame inside of our hearts. It comes to when we're speaking of spirituality. When we're speaking about coming close to God, it means to follow the directions that God has given us. We have a tradition that's been given to us for thousands of years, as it's been passed down. And we want to observe and keep close to it. And sometimes, if for some reason we feel that we're not grasping as much as we possibly can, is the problem with us or is the problem with the instructions? Perhaps if we follow the instructions and we're consistent in following the instructions, we may be surprised just to how good of an experience we can possibly have. And so perhaps the message that we are to learn from Aaron HaKohen is that we need not deviate when it comes to instructions in life, be it instructions, directions from a spouse, or from a friend or a family member, or from an employer, that we need to show a sense of humility, that whoever gave us the instructions, whoever is giving us the order, whether it's someone that we know and are in first-hand touch with, or whether it's God, our job is to show humility and follow directions as best as we possibly can. May we be zoche, may we merit that by doing so, we will keep on cracking and light the flame inside of our souls that will continue to burn strongly throughout our lives. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.